What is up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And today we have a special report to talk about this big fat red candle that is forming with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has dumped. What in the world is going on? And as we look at this nasty chart here, we can see this great, big, huge, fat red candle with Bitcoin dropping all the way from this all-time high, 124,500, down to the current price of $117,481.81. So what's going on? Why the crash? And what is going to happen after this point? Well, the reason why we had this crash, I was just announcing this in my group as I was looking into it. At first, I thought that the Bitcoin crash was just something natural, because when you have a big price dip like this and there's no negative news, well, hey, it's just technical. No big deal. But then as I looked into this a little bit further, I did find out that it's based in a news update, something that spooked the market. So apparently what has happened, Secretary Scott Bessent announced that the inflation report came in hot, and he said that the U.S. won't be buying any Bitcoin anymore and adding to the U.S. reserve. And then we saw the price drop. And this is across the board. We're seeing everything going red. We got a nice big fat red board of all of the top alts. Even memes are taking a hit as everybody is panicking and thinking, well, it's over. So people are throwing in the towel, panicking, and selling what they have. Now, what's interesting is I was thinking, well, whenever you get news reports like this, what always happens is retail investors are shaken out of the market, scared away. And who snaps up all of those cheap coins and tokens? Well, that would be the institutional investors and the U.S. They like to drive the price down so they can buy and get maximum value. They put on these big sales by pumping out this negative news to shake everybody up, and then they buy up everything at the bottom, and then price shoots right back up, leaving everyone looking stupid for selling. Now, here's the proof. The proof is this. Scott Bessent came out with a follow-up clarification. He made a statement, and he said, well, the U.S. Treasury is committed to exploring budget-neutral pathways to acquire more Bitcoin and expand the U.S. Bitcoin reserve. Well, that's interesting. So first, he shakes everybody out of the market saying, that's it, U.S. government's not buying anymore, and then comes right back only to state that, well, we might explore, other pathways. So in other words, he makes this announcement so that they won't look like hypocrites when the U.S. starts buying Bitcoin again at sale prices. So let's go back and look at this chart here. And I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. So we see on the chart that we've got this support and resistance zone box that I've drawn in that peaks out approximately at this $111,000 level, 112, somewhere around there. And the bottom of this box is just below this big volume node, and it's around, 92,000. So the possibility of going all the way down here to the bottom of this box is not really that great. I'd say the first possibility of the highest probability is that we fall off of this node where we are right now, if we even go further down below this, which I think we will, because when you look at the 4-hour chart, we see this impending crossover of the stochastic. Here's the top of the box. So if we fall off of this node, which this bearish crossover seems to indicate, we'll probably settle down right here at 112K, and then the market picks back up. Now, if we fail that, then we can look at a couple of other possibilities in order of decreasing probability. So we fail 112, we may sail down here to this volume node that sticks out at 104. And then if we go below that, I've got this blue dash line that marks a lot of action from previous peaks and supports, and that's at 101. And then the least probability for the worst case scenario would be that we drop to the bottom of this box at 92K. Now, this is just August. We're sitting on August the 14th, just barely at the halfway point of August. And I seriously don't think that we've seen a market cycle peak, even though you have some of the people out there who think that the market cycle peak is going to happen in August. Even if it did, I don't think this is it, because we haven't really seen a massive run in an alt season. Okay, so while Bitcoin is correcting hard, let's just look at what's going on with ETH. Barely a drop. We're only going from 4,745 down to the current price of 4,465. That's showing some pretty good strength. Looking at the 4-hour chart, there's your crossover. But how low will it go? It's probably going to get caught at this node at 42.71, which just happens to be at the 50 EMA line. That's where we could possibly see a bounce. Now, let's look at one other, and that's Solana. Surged up to 208, which is fantastic, and now we've dropped down here to 186, and that happens to be at this critical Fibonacci line, at the 1 line, and I think that if it continues to go down, maybe we go to the 786 or the golden 618, which is at 165. So corrections, they have to happen. Prices go up, prices go down. That's just what you get in any market. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. If it's in stocks, if it's in crypto, whatever the case, the market's going to bounce around. So I don't think that this is a time to panic. I think this is just the same old stuff that we always see. Manipulation by the government, by the big financial institutions, to take money away from retail investors to make sure that their pockets stay filled so that the institutional investors make a lot of profit so they can continue to feed into our retirement accounts. That's what they're there for. They are there to make money, to invest in the market, to report profits, and to remain liquid, and to be able to support all of our retirement accounts. That's the way it goes. And in order for you to fight against institutions that have thousands of employees that do nothing but sit and stare at the screens all day long, with the help of the bots, with the computers, as they call it, the machines, the machine trading that have predetermined buying and selling points. Okay, the only way you can really fight against that is to be a contrarian investor. In other words, you buy when everyone is panicking, when there's blood in the streets, and you sell when everyone is euphoric, thinking that Bitcoin is going to go straight to the moon to 1 million. That's the way it works. So anyway, let me know if you appreciate these types of updates, and I'll keep you posted. You want to tick that notification bell, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I'll keep you posted. And also, if you want to join the private group, you can by clicking the link below and contact me before you join so I can review how well versed you are in crypto. I don't want beginners or people that can't really afford to do the things that we're doing in the private group. We do a lot of swing trading, and I do a lot of TA on the major projects and also the memes so that we can make money during this bull market season. Okay, so anyhow, that's about all I've got for this one. This is Carlton, and I am out.